What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now here behind me we got my 2024 Honda Civic Type-R, and in today's video I'm gonna tell you guys how to get the best deal possible on a brand new Honda Civic Type-R. So first things first, when this car hit the market in 2023, it was not uncommon for the dealers to mark these things up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,000 plus. You know, basically this was a very limited car. A lot of buyers were impatient, so dealers saw that demand and basically just marked them up. Now the buying conditions have changed drastically here in May of 2024, so we're gonna go over all the fine details, and I'm gonna show you guys how to find the best deal possible on a brand new Honda Civic Type-R without having to pay a dealer markup. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first things first, the first step of the process is you need a tool in order to locate the Civic Type-R that you have in mind of purchasing. Now, the one that I use specifically and many others is called Motoring Obsession. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at that, and then we'll circle back.
All right, guys, let me go ahead and give you guys a brief tour of the Motoring Obsession website. So first things first, you need to go ahead and register on motoringobsession.com. And so once you're registered, you can actually get full access to what I'm about to show you here. So obviously you can see this is a map of the United States. We'll get into that later, but let's go ahead and get into the colors. So over here on the right-hand side, this is basically a breakdown of the colors of what's available. So let me go ahead and zoom in. Okay, so obviously on the top right-hand side, we got a color breakdown of the Type-Rs available by color. So number one is Championship White. Currently we have 552 available. Boost Blue Pearl, 277 available. Sonic Gray Pearl, 215 available. Crystal Black Pearl, 68, and Rally Red, 43. So this basically gives you a breakdown of the color quantities available on the Civic Type-R FL5s. So if you go to pull down menu, so this is all dates. So if you want to actually figure out, I guess, May 29th at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can actually click on this and actually sort of what was new for updates on May 29th at 10 o'clock in the morning. But we're going to go ahead and stick to all right now because we want the most current status right now of all the Civic Type-Rs. Okay, so now that we've done a quick explanation of the color breakdown, let's go ahead and put focus back on the map of the United States. All right, let's zoom in a little bit here on the map of the United States. Okay, so take a look at the map of the United States. You're gonna see a lot of icons in different colors in different states and different cities. And basically, these are the Civic Type-Rs that are in transit or on the dealer lot right now. Okay, so just for example, we're gonna go ahead and select a color, and let's go ahead and shop for Boost Blue Pearl, because that's what I got. So I'm gonna uncheck red, I'm gonna uncheck the gray, the black, and the white. So you gotta uncheck it from this color code up here. So once those are all unchecked, and the only checkbox is blue, you're now left with all the Boost Blue Pearls in the United States right now. Okay, there's a lot in the Northeast. So I'm gonna show you guys what's going on here. So right above Baltimore, it looks like there's a Boost Blue Pearl, so you can hover your mouse over it. And I'm gonna click on this. It'll actually give you the information on this car. So I clicked on this Boost Blue Pearl right here. It'll actually tell you what's going on. This is on site. It'll give you the VIN number. It'll give you the MSRP and the dealership and website and the phone number. And sometimes users will actually update this with a dealer markup or required add-ons. So it just depends how active this website is. So if you're on this website and you actually call up some dealers, just go ahead and do everyone a favor and type in the dealer markup, or if there's required add-ons, and they'll save a lot of people some headache and time. There's a lot of them going on in New York right here. So I'm zooming in New York. As you can see, there's a lot of Boost Blue Pearls. So you start clicking on these things, you know, this one's Honda Valley Stream. You got the VIN number right there, and this one's on site. Okay, let's go ahead and click on north of Patterson. It looks like this is in Paramus, New Jersey, and this is on site, Boost Blue Pearl, and there's your VIN number right there. Okay, so for another example, let's go to New Brunswick right here. So it looks like there's a few overlapping blue Type-Rs. So if I click on this one, we got one that's in transit. I'm gonna zoom in even further. And there's another one that is in transit as well. So this dealership right here by New Brunswick has two in transit Civic Type-Rs. So if you're interested, you can actually go to the website right here, go to the website where you can actually just make a phone call to the sales team right there and see if you can get a price breakdown. So this is the #1 tool that you're going to use in order to find the Civic Type-R if you're interested in traveling out of state. So you can go to honda.com and start plugging in, zip codes and whatnot, but I think this tool right here on Motor Obsession is a very valuable tool for locating a Civic Type-R if you're interested in purchasing one. So basically this will give you a breakdown of colors, what dealer has what, if it's in transit, if it's on site. But this is a very powerful tool that someone has programmed and put together, to help everyone out. So this is basically how I found my Civic Type-R. So let's go up to Erie, Pennsylvania. That's a dealership I bought mine, Bianchi Honda. So in addition to Boost Blue Pearl, we got Sonic Gray Pearl right here. So let's click on that Sonic Gray Pearl. And this one is on site, gives you the VIN number, Bianchi Honda, and here's the phone number right there. So that's just an example. That's the dealership I bought my FL5 from. Josh Elliott is a fantastic salesman, by the way. So if you don't want to go through all this headache of making blind phone calls, you can go ahead and give them a call if you like, but I'm just going to throw it out there. And as you can see right here, this dealership has basically 5 in stock right here. So 2 Boost Blue Pearls, 2 Championship Whites, and 1 Sonic Gray Pearl. So the chances of them giving you a discount is probably going to be high because they've got 5 of them. So if you can get this thing for MSRP or $500 under, you're doing pretty well in this market because, as I mentioned before, typical market for these things is $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, maybe even $15,000. But the market is starting to change. But now keep in mind, not all dealerships are going to be selling at MSRP. I mean, there's some of them that probably have the mentality that, there's still markup available from, potential sales, but the market's starting to turn around and I've been seeing deals, lots of them at MSRP and a very select few at like 500 under. So if you can get a 500 under, you're doing very well. Florida's a hot market too as well. I mean, look how many are down here. Look at this dealership. This gotta be Miami. I mean, just look at all these Civic Type-Rs. I mean, that's a lot. So this dealership is Bianchi Honda in Miami, Florida. And man, that is a lot of Civic Type-Rs right there. So you could probably give them a call and see if they'll give you an MSRP deal. But from what I can recall reading, Florida has a lot of markups involved. I guess there's a lot of money in Miami. So, it's just a matter of if the dealership's willing to sell at MSRP or if it's the end of the month. And that's another variable right there, end of the month. For whatever reason, dealerships want to meet quotas. And if you call at the end of the month, they might actually sell you a car for MSRP or below. It just depends. This is a whole game buying a brand new car. And this dealership right here, this one's Bianchi Honda in Miami, Florida as well. And they've got quite a few as well. If a dealership has more than one, they're probably more than willing to actually work with you with an MSRP or below deal. So basically it just depends on the time of month, the sales manager, what they're feeling. But there's a lot of variables involved with trying to get an MSRP deal on a very limited car with a high demand. So just want to show you guys this Motoring Obsession website, and I highly encourage you guys to sign up. So this is a very powerful tool for locating a Civic Type-R if you're in the market, and you can select by color and location, and you don't have to go to Honda's website and manually input various zip codes in order to find one. So I just wanted to give you a quick tour of this website, and I hope this Motoring Obsession can help you out.
All right, now that I've given you a brief tour of what the Motoring Obsession website fully entails, next step of the process, you want to go ahead and pick up the phone as you're going to start calling these dealerships. Now, it's up to you if you want to go ahead and start sending emails, but in my opinion, I don't think the dealerships will take you as seriously if you're just sending emails rather than picking up the phone and talking to the sales department. So basically, from that list of the United States with all the various Civic Type-Rs listed on that Motoring Obsession, you want to go ahead and write those phone numbers down in the dealers. So once you look up the dealers, there's actually phone numbers on the right hand side of that website of the dealer contact information. So basically, if you're going to go down a list, you need to keep track. So you can do it in a spreadsheet or just handwrite it out, because you don't want to look dumb calling a dealership 2 or 3 times that you've already talked to them. Okay, now once you're on the phone with the dealership and you've got a salesman on the line, basically you want to introduce yourself and saying, "Hi, my name is Joe Smith. I'm interested in the 2024 Honda Civic Type-R in Rally Red. I want you to go ahead and give me a price breakdown." So it's very important to get a price breakdown, and then they'll know you're serious. So if they start talking about pricing and above dealer markup, just tell them, you know, be straightforward with them. I'm not paying dealer markup on this vehicle. You know, the market has changed. I'm only interested in MSRP or below. What can you do for me? And if they just kind of give you the runaround saying, oh, we've got, you know, required $2,000 in accessories and parts, you know, just go ahead and say thanks but no thanks. I'm gonna move on. Let me know if you change your mind. So you just kind of want to be, you know, firm. You know, you don't want to be rude about this. So, you know, just end the conversation and move on to the next dealership. I mean, there's hundreds of Civic Type-Rs out there right now. And then some salesmen won't talk about exact numbers until you get that price breakdown. So you want to go through the prices very carefully. So obviously the top price is going to be the price of the car. And then if there's any required add-ons to that vehicle, like paint protection or, you know, trunk trays or wheel locks, it should be listed down below. And then you're going to have the dealer processing fee, and then the local state taxes, and then, you know, the registration and whatnot. And then you're going to have a bottom line price. So I'll give you a fully breakdown price of the Civic Type-R that you've got in mind.
Okay, let's talk about cost breakdowns. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the North Carolina dealership with their cost breakdown. So after you call up the dealership and ask them for the price breakdown, it'll look something like this. Okay, so essentially we've got the vehicle information on the top right here. As you notice, the VIN number is 2525. I like that VIN number, so I was trying to buy this one. Anyways, so you got the MSRP price, $46,345, and then we got $700 tint, $200 wheel locks, Nano Cure for $1,224, total purchase price of $48,463, $900 admin fee, tax, title and fees, total price $51,512. Now, as you can see right here with the price breakdown, there's no dealer markup. However, there's required accessories, you know, with the tint, wheel locks, Nano Cure, and basically that price right there at $48,463 versus $46,345. So I called them back, told them to remove these 3 items, and they wouldn't do it. So they told me, you know, if you change your mind, let us know. So I just basically just moved forward. So it's typical to see this, you know, if some dealerships are willing to sell at MSRP, but then they sneak in the required accessories. So just kind of be leery about that situation. And there's going to be certain dealerships out there, including Bianchi Honda, where I bought mine, that actually put together a quick preliminary price breakdown to see if you're serious or not. So they want to put too much effort in with, you know, people just basically testing the waters. So this is the initial price breakdown I got from Bianchi Honda. Here's what it looks like. Okay, as you can see right here, this is the initial cost breakdown. They drew this up pretty quickly. So, you know, you got your vehicle information right here, you got the buyer information, and then you got the vehicle and then the price. So $46,345, that's MSRP, and then tax, title, tag. And then basically I had to sign this information and send it back to Bianchi Honda. And then once I had that thing signed, then the real documentation starts. Okay, so now I move on to the final sales contract once I sign that piece of paper for the preliminary price breakdown. So you've got the buyer information here at the top, you get the vehicle information right here on the left-hand side, salesman, the date, and then you got the vehicle price breakdown. $46,345, that's MSRP, and then you got the sales tax, $2,480, documentation fee, $464, notary fee, $15, online registration fee, $19.47, registration or processing fee of $43, which gave you a subtotal of $49,367.35. And that's the price I paid for my 2024 Honda Civic Type-R, by the way. So once you get to this stage right here, you know it's getting serious with buying that vehicle. So the dealership knows that you're serious if you can get to this stage right here. Basically, this is the sales contract right here. And that's basically the price breakdowns that you'll be receiving when you're shopping for a Civic Type-R.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and speak from my personal experience buying this 2024 Honda Civic Type-R. So I'm essentially a numbers guy. I work with numbers all day, so numbers were very important to me. And I know this may sound dorky, but I was looking at VIN numbers. You know, I was looking at, you know, 2525 or, you know, 2300 even. So that's basically how I determined which car I was gonna buy. I was very picky about the number. I don't know why, but it's just me. Anyways, so I found a few that were in North Carolina, there was some in Virginia, up in Pennsylvania, Maryland, etc. But by the way, I'm located in central Virginia, so I was trying to stay within a 500-mile radius of where I lived at. Going with North Carolina, for whatever reason, I called 2 dealerships down there, and both of them required $2,100 in required accessories. So I don't know if there was some like internal meeting with North Carolina Honda dealers saying, oh, just go ahead and make sure you charge the customers a required $2,100 in required accessories. So I don't know if they all got together and had an internal communication meeting. I'm not sure, but I found that very bizarre. So I went ahead and passed up on the dealerships in North Carolina. Over in Virginia, there was some dealerships over there by the coast, Virginia Beach to be exact. And those dealerships wanted about $5,000 markup. So I just basically politely told them, I'm not interested in paying markups. You know, the market has shifted. You know, if we're gonna talk MSRP, we can be serious, but you know, I'm not paying above dealer markup. So that kind of conversation ended right there. And there was also a bunch of Honda dealerships up in Northern Virginia. Now, for those of you not familiar with Northern Virginia, there's a lot of money up there because it connects to Washington, D.C. So if you're shopping in an area where there's a lot of money, such as Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, Seattle, the chances of you getting a great deal on a rare car, it's gonna be tough because there's a lot of money in that city and people are willing to pay that because they're impatient and they want that vehicle right then and there. So it's a very slim chance that you'll get a good deal in a big city like that with a lot of money surrounding it. So just a little FYI from what I learned. All right, guys. Now, some of you may not want to actually contact dealerships through the phone or email. So I picked this 2024 Honda Civic Type-R up from Bianchi Honda up in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I dealt with Josh Elliott. So Josh Elliott gave me a fantastic deal on this car. And if you guys are interested in purchasing from him, he can actually ship the car to you. You can go take a road trip and pick it up like I did. But he'll give you a phenomenal deal, just like he gave me. So you just need to make sure that you mention random rebuilds when you're talking to him on the phone, and I'm sure he'll give you a fantastic deal just like he gave me. So I'm just gonna throw that out there right now in case you guys want to take that route. But you know, I understand if you want to go ahead and find a local deal closer to you, especially if you're on the West Coast. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and switch topics, and I'm going to tell you guys what I paid for my 2024 Honda Civic Type-R for those wanting to know. So I got a price breakdown here. What I paid for my 2024 Boost Blue Civic Type-R was MSRP, $46,345. There was 0 required add-ons, so there's no paint protection, no trunk tray, no wheel locks, you know, no BS, just basically a straight MSRP price. But the caveat was I had to finance through the dealership because this car was in transit. So I presume that a lot of dealerships don't want to deal, you know, with cars that are in transit. They rather unload cars that are at the lot. So there was another Boost Blue Pearl at the sales lot when I talked to the salesman on the phone, and basically they wanted to unload that car, but I didn't like the VIN number for whatever reason. So essentially MSRP on my 2024 Honda Civic Type-R. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into the monthly payment that I pay. Now keep in mind, I saved a lot of money for the past 4 years for a brand new car replacement. I had no clue I'm buying a Type-R, by the way. So original plan was a Civic Sport hatchback, 6-speed transmission. And then it basically changed my mind at the last minute and bought a Civic Type-R since these things were going for MSRP. Okay, so within those 4 years, I saved money. I stashed away $35,500 in a separate savings account for a specific car. So I put $35,500 down this 24 Civic Type-R. The APR that I got was 6.3%, and I financed for 3 years. And my monthly payment on this car is $424, which is very manageable, by the way. So you just don't want to go car poor when you're buying a car. So just keep that in mind. You know, if it's beyond your budget, you know, it's just not smart, you know, being car poor. So, you know, just kind of be financially responsible, you know, when you're buying your car, whether it's a Civic Type-R or, you know, a base Civic or whatever it might be. And for the insurance cost, I had this car registered under collector car insurance since I'm driving this car under 5,000 miles a year and I'm not taking it to the track. So I pay $80 a month for insurance, full coverage on the 24 Civic Type-R. Now, if I went through regular insurance, I think I was quoted about $120 to $130 a month. But you know, you go ahead and insure with regular insurance and they're going to assume that you're going to be surrounding yourself with all the commuters going to and from work. So that's not the situation with this car. I'm only using this car for leisure, gym, grocery store, and you know, just weekend drives. Basically, that's what I bought this car for. And this is my 45th birthday / midlife crisis purchase. So just a little word of advice for insuring a 2024 Honda Civic Type-R is if you've got a second vehicle, you know, go ahead and contact some collector car insurance, and I'm sure they're more than happy to insure this car because they know that this is a very unique vehicle and this is not some, you know, run-of-the-mill Corolla or Honda Civic or whatever it might be. Okay, enough discussion about locking down the price of a vehicle. Let's go ahead and talk about logistics. So you've got a few options. You can take a one-way flight, you know, to the city where the car's at, or you can take a one-way car rental, which is what I did. Rent a car at Enterprise. I spent about 150 bucks plus about, I don't know, 60 or 70 bucks on fuel for a one-way trip up to Erie, Pennsylvania, and then I just basically drove this car home. I was gonna trailer this car home with my truck and a friend's trailer, but that friend moved away. He had a very nice aluminum trailer, but I don't trust the trailers that U-Haul has because they've got a high ramp, and I don't want to basically damage, you know, the front lip on this car. So driving home was a safe bet. You can actually ship the car as well. So Josh Elliott has actually shipped cars to Hawaii, Los Angeles, Chicago, and some other cities there on the West Coast. So if you don't want to take a trip, you know, you can organize car transport, which could be in the range of anywhere from, I don't know, 500 to maybe 2,000 bucks. Just depends on distance. If it's open transport or closed transport, that's up to you. So I do have a contact for a good transport company in case you want to get some information on that. So those are the options of basically how to go ahead and retrieve your 2024 Honda Civic Type-R after you've locked down a good price. So you got one-way airline flight, one-way car rental, shipping the car, and maybe you can even take the train, who knows. All right guys, that wraps up today's video on how to purchase a brand new Honda Civic Type-R for the best price possible, and I hope this helps you guys out. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to comment below or send me a message directly, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.